that's how we use it. But what I will say is something that you did, and again, to reference our mutual friend Josh Horowitz, is that when you posted, because my brother passed away in 2018. I lost my brother, and it was, there was a lot mental health wise things that happened, and that's why I mentioned up top with you that I thought it was very brave and said the way that you're very open about your past struggles and how you use that in your roles, but also how you did use it in social media. And one of the reasons I'm bringing that up in the social media is because you spoke about it. Because I think when people, especially after the run you're having right now, people are looking. There are people who are looking to you for advice. They're looking for you, and I think that's a very important way to use social media. Did you, when you made that particular post about how you've been sober and you've been able to get your life in a position where you're happy about it, was there any hesitancy of putting it out there on social media? You're just like, no, this is something absolutely that I need to do.
Yeah, there was never any hesitancy. I've been quite vocal throughout my career about mental health and my sobriety. It took me a long time to feel comfortable enough to kind of express it in a very definitive way, with my band that I used to play in. Our whole record was made around my getting sober and dealing with a lot of my unprocessed emotions within that. And how I would describe that at the time was, I would say, well, I went through a very important change in my life, and it's felt like kind of just like dipping my toe, just more and more so submerging myself and being like, all right, well, this is my story now.
Sure.
And I'm no stranger like yourself to loss due to mental illness or due to addiction, and particularly with men. I grew up in England. I grow up. I still do grow up every now and again.
Of course. You never left. You never really left.
I grew up in England where the statistics are, between the ages of, I think it's 18 and 45.
Okay.
The most likely cause of death for men is suicide.
Wow.
And I work with a charity called CALM, the Campaign Against Living Miserably, which is predominantly a men's mental health charity, about, bringing forward the discussion surrounding mental health. And so it's both something I understand on a personal level for me and also my friendship group as well. And, without kind of getting too deep into it, it's sad, but I think the overall feeling I get left with when I lose somebody close through something like that is, I just wish I'd fucking known.
Yeah.
I just wish I had known. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that means for the individual. I don't know if it's whether or not they just needed to feel comfortable enough to say it or whatever. But having the discussion surrounding things like that opens the space up for people, I hope, to feel confident and comfortable enough to be able to say it, and for us all to help each other.
Yeah.
I think, I've said this recently in another interview. I often need other people more than other people need me.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's my Britishness coming through, but I need to hear other people's stories. I need to be able to identify. It's the same thing we find in cinema. It's what we're looking for. We're looking for that connection where we're looking at somebody and going, that's me. I can relate to that. And I need to hear other people talking about things so that I know I'm not the only one that's completely fucked.
Right. Of course. Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of that hits home, man, to be honest with you, because it's the same thing. It's like, what could I have done? What could I have said? I wish I knew more. I mean, like it's we all go through it, right? And to hear someone else be able to say it too, it makes you have that feeling of, oh, I'm not the only person that goes through this. I'm not the only person that feels this particular way. And that's why I brought up the emphasis of how I think it's so important that when you did that. So for people out there who've seen it, and for, again, people of me who can relate to it, I thank you for that post, because and I know that it's one of those things where it is. You said there was no hesitation to it, but it's incredibly brave. The fact that what you were able to do, it's very admirable. So I just wanted to thank you.
Thanks, brother. I
Yeah, man.
appreciate that.
Yeah, let's